We got Metroid Prime Remastered Shadow dropped on the last Nintendo Direct, and it was amazing. I think this is the way going forward for a lot of these games, especially if it's something, that is not essentially a new IP, if it's not something that's a new entry into an already established IP. I think shadow dropping these sort of games, remasters, remakes, ports, is the way to go. And especially once you actually like drop them as soon as you announce them, I think it just brings up so much more hype because everybody saw that. Everybody's like, oh, it's the top of their mind. They don't have to think about a future date and try and get the game put in their calendar, or they might just end up forgetting, if they weren't even that big of a fan of the franchise to begin with. So I think shadow dropping going forward is gonna be the best way moving forward for these types of games. And I just recently beat it last night, actually, for the first time. I never beat it as a kid, and there was just so much stuff to discover in that game. But I'm gonna go over some of the positives from the game, some of the things that I really enjoyed about this remaster, which honestly, I don't even think it's just a remaster. It's nothing short of a remake. It's just beautiful. The amount of work that went into this game is just incredible. It is a beautifully remastered / remake game. I mean, everything from the superficial things like the graphics, the textures, they all look beautiful. And once you actually compare it to the original, you can really appreciate all the upgrades. And I mean, this is obviously obvious, sorry for the redundancy, but when you put it to, you compare it to the original game, you can actually see just how much better and how much work went into this remaster. Actually, I actually had to go back and watch a video guide because I got stuck at a certain boss, and that video was from the original GameCube game, and I was just able to appreciate just, oh my god, just the technological advancements that we had in video games, the amount of work that went into making this game look way much better than it ever did. I mean, don't get me wrong, the GameCube version was still way ahead of its time. I mean, this was like early mid 2000s, and seeing like a 3D game, a 3D Metroid game just play and look so good at that time was astounding. And then just going from that to modern day to what we got last week is just incredible. It just blew my mind. Retro Studios, man, they are wizards when it comes to this sort of thing, and I'm really happy that they're the ones working on Metroid Prime 4. I can't wait to see what they do with that game, and it just made me so excited once I beat this game. And also, everything from the detailed stuff like the sound design, you being able to see like raindrops on your visor, to even being, jump scared by Samus's face, just staring back at you whenever light flashes in front of you, made me appreciate just how much love and care went into this remaster. It was like little details here and there that just made me really appreciate all the work that went into this really short game. I'm not gonna lie, it's a rather short game, but even the care and attention that went into this very short game is just incredible. The music still to this day is some of the most well composed and haunting music. I mean, let's be honest though, like, to be fair, all the Metroid music holds a very dear place in my heart. I grew up playing Metroid Fusion and the original Metroid Prime, so the music always struck a chord with me. It's just it's the type of music that really it captures you and transports you to this really weird, really alien world, and it sometimes really makes you feel alone in the world, even though there's baddies everywhere, even though there's enemies everywhere, even though there's like they're very lively environments. Yes, it's a Metroidvania game. Obviously, it's a very small and encapsulated world, but still, like, every single corridor, every single room is so lively. It's the environments are so well crafted. Everything from this remaster just looks so good. And if you didn't have amazing camera controls, you wouldn't be able to really appreciate the environments in this game. Camera controls being also remastered and modernized in this game were such a breath of fresh air. When Metroid Prime released, FPS games, they were in a very early stage when it came to like controls and making them as optimized and as user friendly. So Metroid Prime was never lauded as the best at controls, but having dual stick controls for this game were just, I mean, it made me realize just how much they were needed in the original game. They leveled up the game in such an immense way that it feels like a new game at times when you're playing this game. Like, it just feels everything is new. You're discovering new areas, discovering like stuff that you might have missed from your first playthrough all those years back. Just looking at the details at every single part of the room, it's amazing, and it's such a beautiful game, and I appreciate the care and attention, and also, like, I don't want to call it like empathy, but like, developers really putting themselves in the shoes of the players and the modern player, because hey, this game is a remaster. It was based off of old design ideas. There were a lot of things that they had to take into consideration coming into 2023, and I'm glad that the camera controls being so modernized were a big part of this remaster, and its selling point, its unique selling point, is just amazing. It's great to me. I love that they implemented better camera controls, and it just made me very, very happy that the default was literally the dual stick controls. And as far as negatives when it comes to this remaster, honestly, I can't think of any. And I'm not just being like, I'm not just brown nosing retro at this point, but even the irrelevant stuff, like the pricing, is just amazing. It's great. Like, every single aspect of this game, down to the pricing, is amazing. $40 for essentially a full-on remaster of this level feels like such a steal and a great deal that when I finished the story, it didn't feel like I felt cheated out of anything. Even though the game is rather short, I beat this in like 12 hours. If I go back and like actually 100% it, I can probably get closer to the 20-hour mark. But even that, I think, is a little too much, somewhere around 15 hours. But even then, like, the game is so well crafted and so well remastered that nothing about the game feels cheap, not even the price. Like, it's just quality. It's a great experience for that price point, and that's just facts. It's just what it is. Wait, hold on. I guess one issue that I did have with the game, and this was more so things that were never originally part of the original game, so it can't really be that fair to judge the game based on these wants from me. But things such as fast traveling, going from like save point to save point, would have been great, or even implementing a movement speed upgrade would have been way better, because Metroid games, you have to do a lot of backtracking. You have to go back to earlier areas. You have to go to like areas you weren't able to access because you didn't have a certain weapon, you didn't have a certain ability. So it's a lot of traversing the world, going back and forth, trying to figure out the best way to go get to that area faster. And it can get a little old trying to backtrack all the time, and trying to remember where certain collectibles were that you weren't able to reach earlier in the game. It gets to be a lot sometimes. So I think fast traveling, or at least like a movement speed upgrade, would have done wonders to this game. But again, these are issues, or not, you can't even take them as issues, because the game, these video game elements weren't as common in video games back in the day, back when the original game came out. So besides that, no, absolutely no negatives to this game. Overall, this remaster ignited such an appreciation for the Metroid franchise for me that I'm excited for the possibility of it bringing new fans to the series. It also made me extremely hopeful that Metroid Prime 4 will be nothing short of great. And I mean, retro just completely blew my expectations just incredibly, like so much. It's insane just how much I enjoyed this game, and just revisiting this old game, this old world, this old music, this just beautiful, just great, a great experience from start to finish. And I really appreciate the work that Retro put into this game. If you're watching the video version over on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, please go ahead and give a thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and give a thumbs down, because every single bit helps. Links to my socials are down below. Please make sure to follow me on Twitter, where I spend my waking hours arguing about everything and anything gaming, music, sports, sneakers, basically where I'm spending most of my days. And I think I should stop getting a little bit too much. But also make sure to listen to this podcast over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere where there are pods being casted, as the good people over at Games Mess decides say. Just search for Search and Report. Our logo is a little Game Boy with the words Search and Report. I assure you, we're the only gaming podcast with that name. Please make sure to join our Discord server where we talk anything and everything gaming, anime, TVs, movies, and everything that might interest you as my viewer. I've been True Fernie. Thank you. Please take care of each other. But again, always the most important thing ever to do is to please take care of yourself. Be on the lookout for yourself. All right? Check in with yourself. Peace.